In the previous video, we learned how to use stack views to organize items inside of the screen. And if you want to check that video out, I'm gonna leave the link in the description. In this video, we're gonna learn how to use table views to display items inside of a list. So let's get to it. Let's start by deleting everything we had. And let's use Command-Shift-L and search for table view. And let's give it some constraints. I want the table view to use the whole screen, so I'm gonna set a constant to 0 for each side. So the table view manages the items that's gonna be displayed. And to display each item, we need a table view cell. So let's search for that. And it's right here. And now that we have the table view here on the storyboard, we need to connect it to the view controller. So let's option click the view controller to open side to side. And let's make a reference outlet for that table view. Table view. Let's close this. Let's remove all the code we had before because we're not going to use that anymore. To manage the data inside of table view, we need a table view data source. So our main view controller has to extend that function. Let's extend that. And with that function, with that protocol, we're gonna need to implement the functions that come with it. And there are two that are required. And first one is the number of items inside of the row. The number of rows inside of the section. So that means how many items we're gonna have in our list. And the other one is cell for row at. So that's the function that's gonna set our table view cell to display the items inside of our list. So for that, let's just create first a list of items here. Let item equals, I'm just gonna create a very simple list here. First item, second item, and third item. Okay, just a small list, just for an example. So here, we need to know how many items we're gonna be displaying. So we can just return the size of the list. Return list items dot count. And here we organize the cell to display our items. So let's create the cell. So inside of our table view, we have this function called dequeue reusable cell. That means that instead of creating many cells to display each item, we can reuse the cells that are already in the screen. That's very useful because if we had, let's suppose we have 1,000 items. If we were to create a cell for each of those items, it would make the app really slow. Instead of creating 1,000 items, Xcode is smart enough to create only, for example, 10 and just reuse those 10 as we scroll. So it's very helpful to make the app really fast. So here we're gonna need an identifier, and index path is the position of the item that we are setting here. So let's just pass from index path. And let's go back to our main storyboard and give our cell identifier. Let's just call it cell. Now here we can set our item to be displayed inside of that cell. The basic cell always comes with a text label. It comes with a text label, a detailed text label, and an image. But here we are only interested in display a string, so we can just use the text label, text. And here we gonna display the item in the position of the index path. Oh, sorry, index path I meant. Okay, items, and we're gonna display the index path dot row. And here we have to return that cell that we just created. Now another step that we have to do is making sure that the view controller know what table views we are talking about when we set the data source. So we just have to say table view dot data source equals self. The self here means that this view controller is the one that's going to be taking care of the data source. So now we can just run our app, and we should be able to see our list inside of a table view. So table view come with a lot of functionalities already. For example, we can just like scroll. Also, if we want to implement it, we can also implement clicks, for example, the table view. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you.